Good morning students. Welcome to ALPHORES e-learning botany classes. In today's session we are going to start a new chapter, that is a taxonomy. What it is? Taxonomy, right? The term taxonomy is coined by A.P. Decandole. Term taxonomy. Term taxonomy is coined by A.P. Decandole or A.P. Decandole. Okay, right? Therefore, who coined the term taxonomy, sir? A.P. Decandole or A.P. Decandole. The four basic components of taxonomy are characterization, identification, nomenclature and classification. These are four basic components of taxonomy, right? Four basic components. Four basic components of taxonomy. Four basic components of taxonomy are what are they? Characterization, what it is? Characterization, identification, next nomenclature, and next classification. What it is? Classification. Therefore, sir, characterization, identification, nomenclature and classification, these are four basic components of taxonomy. In this taxonomy, first we are discussing about alpha taxonomy and omega taxonomy. What and what, sir? Alpha taxonomy and omega taxonomy, right? Alpha taxonomy. What is the second one? Omega taxonomy. Omega taxonomy, right? What is the first one, sir? Alpha taxonomy, right? Sir, this alpha taxonomy is primitive, whereas omega taxonomy is advanced, right? Therefore, alpha taxonomy, it is primitive. Which taxonomy is primitive, sir? Alpha taxonomy is primitive, whereas omega taxonomy, it is advanced. Sir, this alpha taxonomy is based only on morphological characters. Whereas omega taxonomy, it is not only based on morphological characters. Information is taken from other branches. Information is also taken from other branches such as cytology, embryology, palynology, phytochemistry, serology. Okay, right? Therefore, sir, alpha taxonomy is based on only morphological characters. Based only on which characters, sir? Morphological characters. It means the characters what we can see. Morphological characters, external characters. Okay, right? Now go for omega taxonomy. Sir, this omega taxonomy, right, not only based on morphological characters, not only based on what's that? Morphological characters, but information from other branches Information from other branches also considered. It means information from different branches considered in the case of omega taxonomy. Okay. Sir, what are that other branches from where the information is taken, sir, along with morphological characters? What are the other branches from where the information has taken, sir? Number 1, cytology. Cytology. Number 2, embryology. 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 Number 3, palynology. 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 Number 4, phytochemistry. 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 Number 5, serology. 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 Therefore, omega taxonomy, here morphological characters are considered as well as information from other branches also considered. Information from which branches considered, sir? Cytology, embryology, palynology, phytochemistry, right? Serology. Sir, cyto means cell, logy means study, therefore study of cell, cytology, study of cell. Sir, embryology, development of embryo, how the embryo development takes place. Okay, therefore development of embryo. Sir, palynology, study of pollen grains, study of pollen grains, study of pollen grains. Sir, phytochemistry, phytochemistry, phyto means what? Plants. What are the chemicals extracted from plants? Chemicals extracted from the plants. Serology, scientific study of serum, scientific study of blood serum, scientific study of blood serum. Okay, right? Go for classification. Grouping of plants based on similarities and dissimilarities. It means while grouping the plants, it means while classifying the plants, we are considering what are the similarities that are present in the plants, what are dissimilarities that are present between the plants. Okay. Therefore, what is the meaning of classification, sir? Classification means nothing but grouping. Grouping of organisms. Here I am taking plants. Okay. Grouping of plants based on what and what, sir? Based on similarities. Based on similarities. Based on similarities and dissimilarities. Okay. Therefore, grouping of plants based on similarities and dissimilarities is called classification. Sir, this classification can be even defined as a grouping of plants based on similarities and interrelationship between the organisms. It means how one organism is related with another organism. Interrelationship. Okay. Therefore, grouping of organisms, grouping of plants based on similarities. Based on what, sir? Based on similarities and interrelationship. Okay, based on similarities and what more, sir? Interrelationship. Sir, in earlier days, how organisms are classified? In earlier days, organisms are classified based on, number 1, economic uses. Number 2, gross structural resemblance. Gross structural resemblance. In earlier days, how organisms are classified? Based on what organisms are classified? Number 1, economic uses. Number 2, gross structural resemblance. Gross structural resemblance. Okay. So first we are discussing earlier classifications. What, sir? Earlier classifications. Earlier classifications means classifications in earlier days. Okay, right? Sir, these earlier classifications are based on, right, number 1. What, sir? Economic uses. What, sir? Economic uses. Sir, based on economic uses, organisms are classified into cereals or cereals, fiber yielding plants, medicinal plants, oil yielding plants, etc. It means what is the use we are getting from that organism? Use we are extracting from that organism. Based on the use, based on the economic use we are getting from an organism, based on that, right, organisms were classified. Therefore, what's our economic uses? Okay. Therefore, based on economic uses, based on what's our economic, based on economic uses. Right, organisms are classified. What are classified? Organisms are classified. Organisms are classified into what, sir? Cereals or cereals, medicinal plants. What, sir? Medicinal plants, medicinal plants, fiber yielding plants, fiber what? Yielding plants, fiber yielding plants. Okay, oil yielding plants. What is the last one? Oil yielding plants. Like this we can classify the organisms, etc. I wrote. Therefore, based on economic uses, right, organisms are classified into cereals, medicinal plants, fiber yielding plants, and what more, sir? Oil yielding plants, etc. What is the use from an organism? Based on the use we are extracting from that organism, right, this classification is based on. Right. Number 2, sir, these earlier classifications are based on, number 1, economic uses, we discussed it. Number 2, second one, it is also based on gross structural resemblance. What's sir? Gross structural resemblance. Gross structural resemblance. Sir, based on gross structural resemblance, okay, plants are classified into herbs, shrubs, trees and climbers. Plants classified into, what are classified, sir? Plants classified into what, sir? Herbs, shrubs, trees, climbers. This classification is based on what? Gross structural resemblance. Okay. Sir, these earlier classifications are artificial, incomplete, fragmentary. Sir, why you are saying it as incomplete and fragmentary? Fragmentary, sir. Because the plants which are not having any economic uses and the plants which cannot fit in any of these groups, such plants were ignored. It means all the organisms, they were not classified. All the organisms, they were not classified. There are some organisms which were ignored. So I am calling this one as incomplete and fragmentary. Which classifications? Earlier classifications, right? Just now I told a statement. I wrote the same on the board. See, sir, earlier classifications are artificial. They are artificial. Sir, they are incomplete and fragmentary. Why we are calling earlier classifications as incomplete and fragmentary, sir? Because the plants which are not having any economic use, plants which are not having any economic use, and plants which does not fits in any group, such plants were ignored. So earlier classifications are incomplete and fragmentary, right? Sir, with time, there is a lot of development in technology. Due to development in technology, different classifications were proposed. With time, right, the technology has developed. By using the technology, different classifications were proposed. Okay, sir, what is the base for these classifications? Based on criteria that is used for these classifications, these different classifications were grouped into 3 types. These different classifications were grouped into how many types, sir? 3 types. Grouped into 3 types. Okay, right? Types of classification. What, sir? Types of classification, right? Listen here, sir. Based on what, sir? Criteria. Based on criteria used for classification. Based on criteria used for what, sir? Classification. Used for classification. Different classifications are grouped. Different classifications are grouped into, right, how many types? They are grouped into 3 types. Okay, sir, what are these 3 types of classifications? Artificial system of classification, natural system of classification, phylogenetic system of classification. First one is artificial system of classification. Artificial system of classification. Artificial system of classification, right? Artificial system of classification. Second one is a natural system of classification. What is the second one? Natural system of classification. Natural system of classification. And third one is a phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogenetic system. Phylogenetic system of what, sir? Classification. Phylogenetic system of classification. Okay, shall we go for the first one? What it is? Artificial system of classification, right? Go for the first one. What it is? Artificial system of a classification. Artificial system of a classification, right? Sir, this artificial system of classification, it is based on gross superficial morphological characters. Gross superficial morphological characters. Artificial system of classification is based on what, sir? Gross superficial. Externally what we can see? Superficial. Gross superficial morphological characters. Gross superficial morphological characters. It means externally what characters are visible, based on that characters this classification was done. Okay, such as a habit, color, number, and shape of leaves. Sir, externally we can see the color of leaves, we can count the number of leaves, we can see the shape of the leaves. Therefore, this classification is done based on gross superficial morphological characters such as habit, color, number and shape of leaves. Okay, sir, we are discussing artificial system of classification, right? Sir, here plants are classified. Plants are classified based on one or few comparable characters. Plants are classified based on one or few comparable characters. Plants are classified based on one or few comparable characters. Plants are classified. Plants are classified based on one or few comparable characters. Based on one or few comparable characters. See here. Sir, as plants are classified based on one or few comparable characters, what happened means unrelated plants, they came to the same group. Related plants, they were placed in different groups. Related plants should be in the same group. Unrelated should be in different groups. But unrelated came into the same group, whereas related plants, they were placed in different groups. Okay, therefore as classification, as classification, right, was done based on few characters, based on one or few characters, what happened, sir? Unrelated organisms, right, placed in same group, and related organisms, okay, placed in different groups. Therefore, what are unrelated organisms? They were placed in the same group, whereas related organisms, they were placed in different groups. For easy understanding of this statement, I am giving an explanation. See here. Sir, take dicots, sir. Dicots with two cotyledons. Okay, right. Next, monocots. Sir, monocots, right, they are with one cotyledon. Whereas take gymnosperms, sir. Sir, gymnosperms, right, they are with how many cotyledons? They are with two cotyledons. Sir, if I am going to classify, right, these organisms into groups, okay, then you will get two groups. If I classify these organisms into two groups based on number of cotyledons, if I classify these organisms, I will get two groups. One group is with two cotyledons, one group is with one cotyledon. Sir, the group with two cotyledons, in that group what and what are included, sir? Dicots will come and gymnosperms will come. Sir, with one cotyledon in this group, what will come, sir? Monocots will come. Yes or no? Monocots will come. See here, dicots and gymnosperms, they are not related with one another. They are unrelated organisms. They came into the same group. Sir, dicots and monocots, to some extent, they are resemble to one another. How, sir? Sir, both contains fruit. Both are with seeds. They are spermatophytes, no? Yes or no? Therefore, related organisms placed in different groups. Sir, related organisms placed in different groups, whereas unrelated organisms were placed in the same group. Sir, why this happened, sir? Because the classification is done based on one or few comparable characters. Here only one character I took, not considered the remaining characters. Is it okay? Right. Therefore, sir, this artificial system of classification, right, neglected natural relationship between the two individuals that has to exist within a group. Therefore, sir, this artificial system of classification not considered a natural relationship that exists between two individuals of the same group. Considered, not considered, not considered. Therefore, artificial system of classification, right, not considered. Not considered. Not considered, what sir? Not considered a natural relationship. Natural relationship that exists. That exists between two individuals. Between two individuals of same group. Two individuals of same group. Okay, sir, easy identification of an unknown plant is done with the help of artificial system of classification. Easy identification of an unknown plant is done with the help of artificial system of classification, right? We are discussing artificial system of classification. Just now I told, sir, it is used for easy identification of what, sir? Unknown plant. Used for easy identification of a unknown plant. Sir, artificial system of classification, it given equal importance to vegetative characters and floral characters, which is not acceptable. Why? Because vegetative characters goes on changing with change in environment. So if we classify the organisms based on vegetative characters which are goes on changing with change in environment, then it will be a problem. Yes or no? Artificial system of classification gives equal importance to vegetative characters and floral characters. Vegetative characters and floral characters. Sir, vegetative characters are unstable. Compared to vegetative characters, floral characters are more stable. So, while classifying the plants, floral characters should be given importance. But they have given equal importance to vegetative and floral characters. Okay. Therefore, artificial system of classification given equal importance. Given equal importance to what and what, sir? Equal importance to vegetative characters. Given equal importance to vegetative characters and floral characters. Floral characters means sexual characters. Floral, flower, no. Flower is a sexual reproductive unit of angiospermic plant, no. Therefore, floral characters means which characters are? Sexual characters. Sir, given equal importance to vegetative characters and floral characters, which is, okay, which is not acceptable. Which is not acceptable. Why, sir? As vegetative characters, what happens? Vegetative characters goes on changing with what? With change in environment. With change in what, sir? Environment, right? Floral characters are more stable than vegetative characters. Floral characters are more stable than vegetative characters. Remember this statement. So, importance should be given to floral characters. But they gave equal importance to vegetative and floral characters, which cannot be accepted. Okay. Go for examples of artificial system of classification. Examples of artificial system of classification. Okay. Number 1. Classification by Theophrastus. What are the first examples, sir? Classification. Classification by whom, sir? Theophrastus. Classification by Theophrastus. Sir, Theophrastus is the father of botany. Father of botany. What Theophrastus did means he classified plants into right herbs, shrubs and trees. And what, sir? Herbs, shrubs and trees. Okay, based on habit. Based on what, sir? Based on habit. Sir, this Theophrastus, he wrote a book. What is that book name, sir? De Historia Plantarum. De Historium or De Historia. De Historia or Historium. Historia Plantarum. T-A-R-U-M. Sir, this De Historia Plantarum, this book is also called as a Enquiry into plants. What is another name for this book, sir? Enquiry into plants. Theophrastus is a father of botany, wrote a book by name De Historia Plantarum or De Historium Plantarum. This De Historia Plantarum is also called as Enquiry into plants. Now go for second example for artificial system of classification. Classification by Linnaeus. What is the second example, sir? Second example is a classification by Linnaeus. Classification by Linnaeus, right? What is the second example for artificial system of classification? Classification by Linnaeus. Sir, this Linnaeus, he is a father of taxonomy. Linnaeus is a father of what, sir? Taxonomy. Is a father of taxonomy. Sir, Linnaeus classified plants into 24 groups. 24 groups based on length, number and union of stamens and carpels. Okay. Therefore, Linnaeus classified plants into how many groups, sir? Into 24 groups. Into 24 groups based on what, sir? Based on right length, comma, number. Okay, number, it's number. Okay, union of stamens and carpels. See these ones. Sir, stamens means unit of androecium. Carpels means unit of gynoecium. It means he is the first to use sexual characters while classifying the plants. So the classification of Linnaeus is also called as a sexual system of classification. Classification of Linnaeus. Classification of Linnaeus. Classification of Linnaeus. Also called as what, sir? Sexual system of classification. Also called as sexual system of classification. Why his classification is called as a sexual system of classification? He is the first to use floral characters, sexual characters while classifying the plants. First to use sexual floral characters for classifying the plants. With this, we completed artificial system of classification. Right, in the next session we are going to discuss natural system of classification. Until then, stay home, stay safe and keep on learning through ALPHORES e-learning. Thank you.